Hi, betting experts. On Thursday, April the 3rd, we're off to Liverpool, to Aintree, an absolutely fantastic day's racing, the start of a 3-day Grand National Festival. The ground absolutely perfect, just on the softer side of good. I think they've been putting some water down just to maintain things. The weather forecast does look set fair for the 3 days, so perhaps things will start to dry out a touch, but there should be absolutely no excuses. It's brilliant prize money and some really good clashes. We start off with our betting expert Daily Nap, sponsored by Priced Up Bet. This goes in the 3:30. It's the Aintree Hurdle, a Class 1, Grade 1 over 2 mile, 4 furlongs with £140,000 on offer to the winner. It's lived up to its billing. I think it's a match on form, and I think Lossiemouth at around about 2-1 represents much better value than Constitution Hill. Now, Lossiemouth, the first thing to say, Willie Mullins is absolutely flying. He's had, in the last fortnight, at the time of recording, 7 winners from his last 11 runners. They are flying. And Lossiemouth, well, she had a bit of a mixed season. She started off well, winning at Fairyhouse on the 1st of December, but she was then tapped for toe round Kempton. I don't think particularly the right-handed track on good ground suited her there. She was always run off her feet. It was a bit of a recalcitrant run, and then she took a horrendous-looking fall at Leopardstown on the 2nd of February when disputing the lead with State Man. Obviously, that form reads better now, because State Man would have won the Champion Hurdle by about 10 lengths if he hadn't departed at the last. But anyway, it all came together in calmer waters at the Cheltenham Festival in the Mayor's Hurdle. She was 6-4 on. She didn't come off the bridle. It was a deeply impressive display, and I think the key is 2 mile 4. That's her trip. This is her ground, and I do think a flat track, she will glide round here. Whereas Constitution Hill, I still have my doubts that he's quite the force of old. He was still cruising when he departed in the Champion Hurdle, letting down backers and millions of acres in the process. But I didn't particularly like the way he skied some of his hurdles, grabbed at a few of them, jumping quite early, almost like a horse who'd been schooled over fences. I don't think he has been, but it was a bit like that. And I do have my doubts over 2 mile 4, whether this is really his trip. He did win this race last year, but things had gone pretty smooth. In 2023, I beg your pardon, things had gone pretty smoothly that season. He made all the running, but I don't think there was that much left in the tank after the last. So I do have my doubts that he'll see things out. And at the prices, around about 5-4 on and 2-1 Lossiemouth, I think you can only back Lossiemouth, and I think she's a good value wager at the prices. Again, with the stable form of Mullins, a big plus at this time of year. Our betting expert Value Angle selection, sponsored by Priced Up Bet, goes in the 2:55. It's the Golden Miller Bowl Chase, nearly 3 mile 1, a Grade 1 Class 1 for 5-year-olds and upwards. Again, brilliant prize money, 140 grand to the winner. I think Grey Dawning is the one to side with here for the Dan Skelton yard. Now, Dan, he's had 3 winners in the last 14 days. I think the fancied ones are still running well. It can be a time of year when the top yards do tail off a touch. They're certainly not planning their whole season starting back in October with Aintree in mind, and I'm always conscious of that. But Grey Dawning's had a light season. He's only had 3 career starts since returning from 7 months off the track. He started off at Haydock on the 23rd of November in the Betfair Chase, a race he probably should have won. He got outstayed in the end in an absolutely gruelling race with Royal Pigalle. I think Harry probably panicked and went too soon there. He should have won fairly comfortably, in my opinion. That is one slight criticism of Harry Skelton. Occasionally, I think he does go from cruising to panic stations a bit too soon on some occasions, but he's a top-class jockey. Then the King George, well, that run came too soon. He made a mistake at the first, and he was always on the back foot. I think he was feeling the effects of Haydock. 2 months to freshen up. He was right back to his best, making all at Kelso, a relatively simple task. He jumped superbly. He didn't really come off the bridle to beat Iroko, who's a very high-class horse who's heading to the Grand National on Saturday with leading claims. That was the perfect prep for this race. Now, some people will say with Grey Dawning, he's been to Aintree, I think 3 times, and he's not managed to win, but in truth, he was a faller over hurdles in April 2023. He finished 3rd behind Ile Temps on the 11th of April here last year in the Manifesto Chase. I just think they got the tactics wrong that day. They rode him very quietly and negatively from off the pace, and he was just one pace up the straight. I don't think it's anything to do with the track. I think this flat track will suit him. He certainly stays this trip well. He's a brilliant jumper. I'm hoping that Harry will pop him off in front and make all the running and put his good jumping to sound use. He's 4 from 9 over fences, and he should take plenty of reeling in if he can get into a rhythm, uncontested on the lead. Best of luck on Thursday at Aintree Betting Experts, and please do check out our sponsor Priced Up Bet, who have numerous pushes and offers over these 3 days.